Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Caden. I hope you guys are having a great day. In this video, we are going to be going over Deuteronomy 8, okay? And Deuteronomy 8, Moses is basically doing he's still doing his crazy sermon to the Israelites, okay? And Moses is reminding them about the journey they went through, the wilderness, especially the wilderness, right? And he's telling them about the wilderness and not kind of giving off this, or he is giving off this frame of the wilderness was not just punishment for you guys, but it was also education and a place to build your faith in God and your place to see where your hearts were and reveal where your hearts were so you could change them, right? So you can trust God more and rely on God more. And he's kind of giving, you know, it wasn't this punishment, but it was God preparing them, right? And then in the second part, so that's the first part. In the second part, Moses warns them against prosperity and success and its danger, right? Basically telling them hey guys, you're gonna go into this land and you're gonna find success, okay? And you're gonna find success, and with success, because he knows how the mind works, he knows how the human mind works. He knows that with success, there comes comfort, and with comfort comes the idea that hey, I earned this. There comes pride and all these things, right? And he basically preaches about this. He's like, hey, don't do this, right? 17, and one of my favorite verses in here, which is verse 18. And I'm kind of happy I got to read this whole section together. So verses 17 and 18. I don't really remember what 17 was. It was but I know what 18 is, and 18 is basically, remember the Lord your God, for is it He that gives you the ability to get wealth, something for the covenant as He gave to your fathers, so it is today, or something like that. I love this verse, okay, because God's basically saying we have the power, and He has already given it to us to get results, right? And the word wealth here doesn't mean just financially, right? It means financially and all these other areas of life, like character, virtue, valor, status, all these things that a lot of people nowadays, a lot of Christians are just that's a bad thing. Status, not good, right? Not good to have status, right? And I'm just it's just I want to just if you think that way, it kind of just shows how there's so much wrong with it. First of all, it shows how messed up your mind is. Then it also shows that you think that there's something on earth that isn't God's, right? And that Satan just completely owns, which is not true. If Satan had an area of life that he just completely owned, God would not be able to go into there and allow or not allow, Satan and limit him, right? And there's this saying duality is there's a spectrum, right? Think everything, pretty much everything has a spectrum, right? Every vehicle, okay, not everything. Human sacrificing is always evil, but I'm talking about vehicles, mechanisms, things like status, money, like character, all these things, right? There's a spectrum for them, right? And you can either be used for good or for bad or anywhere in between, right? And if you think that there's if you hear the word status, or you hear the word money and just oh, money's bad, and it's the root of all evil, or status is bad because it just means you're self-absorbed and all this stuff, you're messed up. Okay, you gotta fix that. um but in the second part, verses 17 and 18, he's warning them hey, don't become self-reliant. Don't say it was through my power that we won this, and we won all these battles and we got the promised land, right? And he tells them that yes, you have the ability to do that, but God gave you that ability, right? He gave you the mind, the body, he gave you the ability to be creative, right? This is also in the term of word wealth. Wealth also means creative side. He gives you, or no, ability, sorry, the word ability in the Hebrew word, I don't know if I wrote it down here. Oh no, the word power. the word power in here means koa in Hebrew, which means physical strength, health, mental capacity, intelligence, and capacity. Or no, sorry, creativity. Creativity. So like people say like I don't really hear this anymore now, but I used to hear this in junior high and high school. People used to say like, "Oh, I'm not creative." I'm like at the time like I didn't think much of it, but like as I grew up, I was like, that's a stupid thing to say. Like you should not be saying you're not creative, right? If you're not creative, it just means you are not exercising your creativity. You're just not using it. Um, because like God's creative, and He created us in His image, and there's also this verse here, where the word power means creative ability, right? And it's like your mind, when you look at your mind scientifically, it's also just designed to be creative. Like the way our mind just gets like however many thoughts it is a day, just constantly, like it's always thinking. Like it's just designed to be creative. Like a stupid thing to say for yourself, right? It's also I think you're hindering yourself if you're saying that. Don't say that. Um, yeah, and the word wealth just means like a way broader thing. The word I'm gonna butcher the word, but the word in Hebrew means chayil, chayil, Chayil. And it's like a combo of everything. It's not just financially, not just character, not just valor and status, right? It's just talking about like all of them combined, right? The whole picture. The way I like to frame it is like instead of using the word wealth, I put just results there. So instead of it being like he gives you the ability to get wealth, he gives you the ability to get results. That's what it's talking about here. That's how I kind of see it. Um, but if you want to get deeper into it, like basically it's saying like it's the combo, right? So it's like you have it all, right? Not just this or that or cherry picked, right? You can also cherry pick it, right? But like this wealth word here is like you have all of them, right? He gives you the ability to get all of them, right? Not just this one here, not just that one there, not if just this one. If you just put all your life dedicated to it, like all of them, you can have all of them, all of it. Okay, get that through your heads, guys. All of it, you can have all of it. The status, the intelligence, the valor, the creativity, um, the money. You can have it all of it. And that's kind of what I got away from it. That's like one of my favorite verses that I've known about and been memorizing this last week. And I went to God and I was praying. I was like, okay, God, what do I take away from this, right? And He was telling me just self-reliance came to mind. Self-reliance and idolatry. Those two words came to my mind. And I was like, okay, why self-reliance? What's so wrong about self-reliance? And he's like, well, self-reliance is idolatry, right? You're relying on something other than God. You're using something other than God, right? You're giving more power and more influence to something over your life than God, right? Basically, it's not the center of your life, like we talked about in Dueteronomy, or that you learn in Dueteronomy, whatever that word was. And I was like, okay. And I was just like, I'm just really stupid when I talk to God. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, like why is idolatry bad, right? And he was like, well, idolatry is bad because you were designed to worship me first of all. And he was kind of like, like it was a stupid question to ask, but I just had to ask it. He's like, you are designed to worship him, right? The way your body is, the way our minds work, like you were just designed to worship him. I don't know how to put it. Like I don't have all the science for you guys right now, but it's there. Um, and also the more practical side is like, or the side I know about is like, um, if you're putting your trust in something other than God, it's not going to be as reliable. So you're literally just hindering yourself, and you're just self-sabotaging yourself. And for me, I put my logical intelligence and numbers over God's ability, which is like I talked about this in like Dueteronomy 2 or 3. Um, when the Israelites, after they get rejected from going to the promised land and they disobey God, they have to go defeat King Siron of Heshbon, and Heshbon means logical thinking. So they have to go defeat logical thinking before they can go back to the promised land, right? And for me, like that was a big thing. Like I'd run the numbers. I'd be like, okay, like if I work this many hours, with an average of this many sets an hour, then I could theoretically like get this many closes, a day, and I can make this much a month. And then I go and try and do it, and since my mind is so like, I was just so burnt out and so reliant on myself. When something didn't go the way I logically thought about it, even though like it could be done that way, I was doing it without God. So God's not there. So like nothing really happened, and I wouldn't achieve what I normally could achieve and what other people were achieving, right? And I was just like, this is stupid. Like I should be able to do this. But God was literally just, He was not with me when I was doing that, because I was in idolatry of myself and my logic and self reliance and all that. That's what He kind of told me, and I've learned my lesson. Okay, I know now, like, my logical thinking is not the main dictator of life. Like, I love thinking, man. I can really pick apart a person and pick apart myself and like get into the nitty gritty. Um, but like the things that God does don't make sense some oftentimes. Like it just doesn't make sense how God does it. Even like how He takes us throughout life. So that's what I got from this. So He was just reminding me, about that, and to keep in number one. Um, and yeah, that's about it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.